Thank you for coming to see a second presentation on Srila Visvanatha Cakravarti Ṭhakur's Sri Madhurya Kadambini, the monsoon clouds of sweetness. In this presentation, we will be exploring the second Mangalacarana and the first of the beginning dialogue of the book. Just to review, we began our discussion by looking at the title of the book, wherein we explored the various definitions given by acharyas in our line for the word Madhurya, and that led us to an understanding that this word Madhurya, or specific sweetness, is characteristic of relationships with the Lord in his most intimate form as Krishna in Vraj. This is the quintessential manifestation of the Lord in his most intimate loving relationships, free of the influence of any aishwarya, attraction to the Lord's opulence. Rather, the relationships there are based purely on unadulterated love. We also looked at the first Mangalacarana verse of Visvanatha in his Madhurya Kadambini. On unpacking that verse, we were allowed to see the understanding of Visvanatha Cakravarti in seeking the blessings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and specifically the special dispensation of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through the benediction of his Sankirtan movement, Golokare Premadan Harinam Sankirtan, that the Harinam Sankirtan, initiated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates, allows entrance to aspiring sadhakas, spiritual students, into that realm of unalloyed devotion, which is the standard of Vraj Bhakti, or pure Raganuga. We'll continue in this discussion to the second Mangalacarana verse. In the second Mangalacarana, Sri Visvanatha pays tribute to Srila Rupa Goswami. In previous ages, many great souls took shelter of Bhakti Devi. However, by the grace of Krishna's dear associate, Srila Rupa Goswami, we have been given the wisdom to realize her in the form of rasa. I therefore pay my obeisances to him constantly. The book Madhurya Kadambini is unpacking of the instructions of two verses from Srila Rupa Goswami's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. It's natural that the author would pay special tribute to Srila Rupa Goswami and allow us, through his vision, to understand the significance of Srila Rupa Goswami and his contribution to the Sankirtan of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we find the following verse in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Before the creation of this cosmic manifestation, the Lord enlightened the heart of Lord Brahma with the details of the creation and manifestation, the Vedic knowledge. In exactly the same way, the Lord, being anxious to revive the Vrindavan pastimes of Lord Krishna, impregnated the heart of Rupa Goswami with spiritual potency. By this potency, Srila Rupa Goswami could revive the activities of Krishna in Vrindavan, activities almost lost to memory. In this way, he spread Krishna consciousness throughout the world. The significance here, the Lord impregnated the heart of Rupa Goswami with spiritual potency. Now we find that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu repeatedly requested his associates to bless Rupa Goswami. In speaking with Advaita and Nityananda, Sri Chaitanya spoke, "Bestow your blessings on Rupa Goswami wholeheartedly. May he become so powerful by your mercy that he can explain the divine rasas of devotional service to Krishna." Also, he told Swarup Damodar, "When Rupa and I met at Prayag, I immediately recognized his worthiness and so gave him my blessings. I imbued him with transcendental power and instructed him in these matters. You also should teach him the secrets of divine rasa." Also, we find that after Ramananda Roy praised the writings that were found in the thatched rooftop of Rupa Goswami's kutir as a fountain of ambrosia, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "I met Rupa at Prayag and was deeply impressed by his virtues. His poetry is sweet and pleasing and embellished with literary ornaments. Without such poetic skill, propagation of the divine flavors will be impossible. All of you, please give him your blessings so that he will be able to constantly describe the Viraj pastimes and the nectar of divine love." So repeatedly, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is requesting his most intimate associates to bless Rupa Goswami in his efforts to spread Krishna consciousness. This may bring us to an interesting question. Why did Mahaprabhu single out Srila Rupa Goswami from all of his associates? And we may find some insight into such an inquiry here. In Vraj Leela, Srila Rupa Goswami is the eternal associate of the Lord, known as Rupa Manjari, the leader of all the maidservants, Manjaris of Radharani. Now, Mahaprabhu hesitated to reveal his most intimate secrets to other close companions, showing his reticence in the same way that Srimati Radharani does before Purnamasi, Nandamukhi, and Vrindadevi, whom she considers to be her seniors and objects of reverence. And even before her other intimate friends, Lalita and Shaka, who are just a little older than she, Radha is also somewhat reluctant. However, that reluctance is not there. There is no reservation in her completely revealing her mind and sentiments to her intimate Manjaris. Mahaprabhu, therefore, in the mood of Radha, also gave this mercy for spreading Krishna consciousness to Rupa Goswami. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami writes, "By entering the heart of Rupa Goswami, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu empowered him to ascertain properly the conclusions of all truths. He made him an experienced devotee whose decisions correctly agree with the verdicts of the disciplic succession. Thus, Sri Rupa Goswami was personally empowered by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu." Therefore, we see that Visvanatha Cakravarti Ṭhakura is quite justified in saying that though the previous Mahajans may have accepted the path of bhakti, the ability to understand it as sacred rapture or rasa came into the world through the grace of Srila Rupa Goswami. Because we see basic definitions of the essential characteristics of pure devotion, like that given in the Gopal Tapani Upanishad. Devotion means worshiping God. This means in turn exclusive absorption of the mind and all the senses in the unmotivated service of the Lord, without any desire for enjoyment either in this world or the next. This alone can be called liberation, Naiskarmya. Also, going on to the Narada Pancharatra, Sarvo Padi Vinirmuktam Tatparatvena Nirmalam Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhaktir Uchate. Bhakti means engaging all the senses in the service of the Lord, the master of all senses, only for his pleasure. This should be done without any desire for one's own sense gratification in either this world or the next. We find that Srila Rupa Goswami, in defining unalloyed devotion in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, says the following: Anyabila sita sunyam janakarmajyanavritam anu koyena Krishna anu silanam bhaktir uttama. The highest category of devotion, or bhakti, is the culture of a favorable attitude to Krishna, devoid of all material desires and without any adulteration for monistic philosophy or fruitive action. So as we can see, Rupa Goswami has taken the essence of the earlier explanations of devotion to the Lord and refined them to the highest category in presenting the characteristics of unalloyed devotion in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. This wonderful book, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Srila Rupa Goswami has given, contains, and this is just a summary, the following: systematic analysis of the characteristics of pure devotion and its qualities, details of all the aspects of devotional activities and their effects, the characteristics of Vaidhi and Rag Bhakti and the qualification for their performance, the characteristics of Bhav Bhakti and Prem Bhakti and their symptoms, an analytical description of the 5 main rasas, Santa, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya, their realization, and detailed examples of each. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu also provides an analysis of the transformation of Sthai Bhava into Rasa form by the combination of Vibhava, Anubhava, Sattvika, and Vibhachari Bhavas. And it provides the eligibility for relishing rasa and cultivating the experience of sacred rapture. So this accomplishment of carefully detailing the practice of unalloyed devotion as given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was entrusted to the 6 Goswamis. And one of the foremost, the Goswami in charge of Abhideya, or the practice, was Srila Rupa Goswami. Appreciation of what the Goswamis have done was sung by Srinivasacharya in the Sri Sad Goswami Astika. Nana Shastra Vicharana Ka Nipano Sadharma Samstapako Lokanam Hita Karano Trabhuvane Manya Saranya Karo Rara Krishna Padara Vinda Bhajanao Nandena Mata Likao Vande Rupa Sanatanao Raguyagao Sri Jiva Gopalakao. As the foremost experts in the principles of the various scriptures, they fully establish the true Dharma and uplift society. They are revered throughout the 3 worlds and give shelter to all, intoxicated by the joy of service to the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna. They resemble honeybees. I offer my obeisances to Sri Rupa, Sri Sanatan, Sri Raghunath Bhatta, Sri Raghunath Das, Sri Jiva, and Sri Gopal. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, in a lecture given in New York in 1971 on July 21st, said the following in regards to the preaching and the writing of the six Goswamis. Quote, "So they were busy, Nana Sastre Vichara Naika. They were consulting many authoritative scriptures, how to put people in the right religious way of life. Nana Shastra Vichara Naika. Sadharma Samstapakau. Why? Lokanam Hita Karanau. Actually, for doing welfare activities to the people in general, not for themselves. This is the nature of selfish spiritual life, as opposed to the selfishness of material existence. And this Sankirtan movement is meant to bring about a revolution in human society wherein the collective consciousness of human society is turned from materialism to unadulterated and uninterrupted service to the Supreme Lord. The glories of Sri Rupa Goswami are certainly very much revered in our Madhva-Gaudiya-sampradaya. Narottam Das Thakur has said, I have heard from the mouth of sadhus, and everyone agrees, that one can attain the lotus feet of Radha Krishna by the grace of Sri Rupa alone. May Sri Rupa bestow his mercy on me. One who takes shelter of him is truly a great soul. By the grace of Sri Rupa alone, we aspire to advance in our devotional practice, take shelter of one of the Lord's eternal associates, taking up fully the path of Raganuga Bhakti by following in their footsteps under the firm guidance of the bona fide spiritual master. Visvanatha Cakravarti Ṭhakura is specifically praying for Rupa Goswami's mercy. He wishes to analyze and expand on the outline of devotional life given by Sri Rupa in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Rupa also expanded and unpacked specifically Madhurya Rasa in his Ujjvala Nilamani, a dazzling blue sapphire arising from the depths of the ocean of rasa and shining brilliantly with the ecstatic bhava of the gopis. I thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this presentation on the second Mangalacarana verse of Srila Visvanatha Cakravarti Ṭhakura's Madhurya Kadambini in praise of Srila Rupa Goswami, and I hope that you will return to future presentations in this series. Hare Krishna.